In addition to the 8 states already enforcing new abortion restrictions, 6 more states have triggered laws already in motion. In Texas, the new law set to take effect in 30 days would ban abortions from the moment of fertilization. It makes exceptions to save the life of the mother or prevent, quote, substantial impairment of major bodily function, but does not make exception for rape or incest. Texas abortion provider and co-chair of the Committee to Protect Healthcare's Reproductive Freedom Task Force, Dr. Bhavik Kumar, joins me live now to talk more about this. Dr. Kumar, thank you for being on. Texas already bans abortions after 6 weeks. So how different is the current law compared to this new trigger law that's about to take effect?
Yeah, you're right. For the last almost 10 months now, Texas has banned abortion when cardiac motion can be detected on an ultrasound, which is roughly around 6 weeks, sometimes a little bit before, sometimes a little bit after. But with this new ruling from the Supreme Court, and if and when our trigger law goes into effect, we're looking at a complete ban on abortion. So anybody who needs access to abortion will have to travel, which has been the case for the vast majority of folks that have sought care with us, again, over the last almost 10 months now.
So as a doctor, how do you determine what meets this criteria of saving the life of the mother or preventing substantial impairment of major bodily function? Is it difficult to decide what meets that bar?
Absolutely. Yep. You're exactly right. What we see is when politicians and folks that don't have medical training make these laws with language like you just stated, it's very difficult oftentimes for us as medical professionals, as doctors taking care of real people, to understand and know exactly where that line is. It becomes very, very murky. And we've seen that over the last, again, almost 10 months in Texas, where some people are presenting to the hospital, sometimes with a wanted pregnancy, and something may go very wrong with that pregnancy. And one of the options typically would be an abortion. And if somebody says, you know, this is the best option for me, and I'd like to move forward with that, with laws like this, where they're murky, we have to think about how sick does this person have to be before we move forward with that care? How close do they have to be to having damage to their bodily functions? Which functions are we talking about? And then these things have to go through a hospital committee to make sure that we're doing something that is not going to get us in trouble when all we're trying to do is take care of the people that are coming to us.
And what happens if you're in a situation that requires an immediate decision?
Yeah, again, it becomes very, very difficult. Of course, if somebody is at that point, I would hope that most people would be able to move forward. But the last thing any doctor or medical team should be thinking about is, will I get in trouble with the law when I'm doing the best thing for the person who's needing care that's right in front of me? And so all of these restrictions really just add a huge layer of murkiness and uncertainty, and really puts the person that we're trying to take care of in jeopardy.
So what if you find a major medical issue with the fetus?
Same thing, as you mentioned before, that there's no, in many state laws, there's no coverage for that. So again, over the last 10 months in Texas, what we've seen is when folks do have a pregnancy where something's found to be wrong with the fetus, even if the fetus is not very likely, if impossible to survive once after birth, there's nothing that we can do if there's cardiac motion that can be detected on an ultrasound. So then that person is no longer in control of their body. They're forced to continue that pregnancy until they reach that point.
And I think there are a lot of people who think, well, in that case, you would have a miscarriage, sort of the problem takes care of itself. Can you talk about what happens medically in those circumstances and what the impact is on a woman who has to then carry that pregnancy?
Yeah, that's certainly not true. Sometimes people can continue that pregnancy up until the point of having to deliver, and then go through the process of labor, delivery, hoping that there's not an emergency that arises in that process, leading to perhaps a C-section or even a threat to that person's life. It's important, I think, for everyone to remember that pregnancy can be safe, certainly, but it's not a benign state. There are a number of things that can happen during pregnancy. And the same thing with labor. There are a number of things that can happen and put that person's life in jeopardy. And again, when we're talking with a person that's experiencing something like this, we would go over those issues, we'd go over those risks, benefits, have that discussion, and allow that person to decide what's best for them given the circumstance. But with these restrictions and these new state laws that are going to become effective very soon, if not already in some states, we're looking at a place where people would not have those decisions in their own hands, and they're forced to do something against their will.
All right, Dr. Bhavik Kumar, we appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.